Hi, I'm Sally Perillo, the co-chair of the Communications Committee for the International Facility Management Association, the Philadelphia chapter. I'm here with Marc Liciardello. He is the Vice President of Global Corporate Services for the ARAMARK Corporation. He's been in the facility management industry for more than 30 years. He has recently received the honor of Fellow, which is the highest designation for the professional organization of International Facility Management Association. Marc?
Great, thank you very much. What would you like to talk about first? Would you like to talk about IFMA?
I'd like to talk about IFMA.
Okay. Sort of why
I'd like
IFMA?
to ask why IFMA, what attracted you to
Sure.
the organization, and in business terms,
Yep.
the ROI. You've invested a lot. What
Sure.
have you gained based
Back.
on your
Sure.
return on your investment?
Yeah, I'd be happy to share that. So what I would say first is that that when I started practicing what's now known as facility management, it was called maintenance management. So facility management was the new, more comprehensive, holistic profession that was evolving as I was evolving. And as I looked around, I'm very passionate about education and learning. IFMA was the clear leader. And if you dial it up to today, IFMA is the global thought leader on FM for both the profession and both the professional in their products, in their knowledge. And what I would say, obviously I'm a little biased, that the Greater Philadelphia chapter is one of the top chapters in the world for FM. With respect to myself, I'll use IFMA's Learn, Connect, and Advance. So IFMA's sort of their sticky statement is empowering, facility professionals worldwide, learn, connect, and advance. And so when you think about that, and I think about myself, what attracted me to IFMA was the source of truth on FM. Globally recognized source for me to learn, to better deliver solutions to my team, and to my organizations, and to my community. And then when you talk about community, you talk about connecting. And what a better place to connect than your local chapter or at world workplaces or now fusions that didn't exist way back when, to broaden your relationship, to broaden your horizons, to broaden your perspective. And certainly when you think about advance, you think about your career and your career planning. And advance doesn't mean advance out of your organization. It could be advancing in your organization, delivering, a value to your organization, but certainly, advancing, further as you move forward. I like to talk about FM as the business of FM. And so it really is, business leadership, depending upon your role, whether you're at the worker level or supervisory level or senior leadership level. It's really about the business of FM, and probably the best way to translate that very succinctly is look at the 11 core competencies that have been identified as the key attributes for really being proficient and at the top of your game in FM. And so, when you look at those competencies, whether it's finance or real estate or human factors or environmental stewardship and sustainability, there is just a tremendous amount of opportunity to be a very broad based leader or a very focus-based leader. So for me, the state of FM is and the future of FM is very bright, for us professionals and for the profession. And what I'd also say is that it's a pretty unique opportunity that we have as practitioners or as members that support the built environment. And what I mean by that is really it's a multidisciplinary profession. So that really involves the integration of people, place, process, and technology really to support, we say the built environment, but at the end of the day, it's really about supporting people. That's the end result, people that support their organizations and their communities and deliver value. So we have a very unique opportunity to really be a thought leader and a partner for our business leaders. Maybe 10 years ago, we say we should be in the C-suite. We're in the C-suite. That's old news. It's delivering value. And I would say go beyond your business. We also need to be an advocate for FM. So we have governmental affairs capability at the international level, at the global level, and at the local level. And what I like to say when I was on the International Governmental Affairs Committee is that if you're not at the table, you are on the menu. There'll be other people at that table, at the legislative table, advocating for their particular area. And so minimally, I mean, another area of focus and opportunity for volunteering is to monitor legislation, right? To advocate bipartisan, pragmatic, common sense solutions. And I don't think I've met an elected official that doesn't like to hear about, you know, a bipartisan, common sense solutions that makes the best good for all.
Through the years, particularly with the Philadelphia chapter, you have held various positions. You've been a chair, you've been vice president for
Yep.
two
Yep.
terms,
Yep.
and you've also been on the international board.
Yep.
Congratulations.
Yep.
But how do you see IFMA certifications, how have they impacted your career, or
Sure.
how do you see that for someone just stepping into a facility management career?
Yeah, good question. So, you know, here's what I would say is that certifications probably have the highest value or return on investment of your time if you're committed to this profession. And it isn't like you need to be in the practice for 20 years. The great thing about what IFMA has done through their first global job task analysis in 2009, and now the current one, which, by the way, if you go on their site, you can be a part of the global job task analysis, is to identify the needs of the profession and of the professional. And so we now have a suite of credentials or certifications or certificates based on where you're at in your entry point. So if you're in a Bachelor of Science in Facility Management, don't really have the experience, right, working in an environment, but you have the book experience, there are things like the facility management professional, right? So sort of an entry-level credential that's knowledge-based. So you know there's key competencies that you have to certify against, and you get that credential. The next level up is called the Certified Facility Manager. That is an experiential certification, which is the highest certification that an FM can have based on their professional competency, and it's the only globally recognized and vetted credential. So when these global job task analysis are pushed out for feedback, there's probably over 3,000 professionals that support the content that goes into that particular certification. Two other I'll mention real quick is FM Essentials. So not everybody comes out of a college or a four-year institution. Some people are transitioning from a technical trade. So what FM Essentials does is say, hey, there's this whole broad group of people who want to transition from I'm a superintendent on a job, or I'm an administrative professional, I want to be an FM professional. It provides that first career step into FM that then leads to an FMP potentially and a CFM. And then a specialty credential is the Sustainability Facility Professional credential, which is really a deep dive on sustainability strategy, implementation, and operations. So it's a robust set of credentials that really support wherever you're at or wherever you want to go in your profession.
You have a depth and breadth of facility management information that's quite impressive.
Thank you.
So going forward, what would you like to share with the membership or
Sure.
someone about your personal experience or about facility management?
Right. So first of all, I would say just personally, you need to follow your passion, and need to be a focused passion. I have a lot of energy around FM, mainly because of my service orientation, being a service to others, and the impact you can make on people and ultimately the world. For each member of the Philadelphia chapter, or whatever member would like to look at this particular spotlight, from a volunteer standpoint, you can be whatever you want to be. I will never forget a former chair, probably 15 years ago, who was giving a talk and said, you know what, each one of you have the opportunity to be the chairman of this association. And that's true, because as I had more time in my life to volunteer, whether it was at the chapter level or at the board level, you really can get out of this whatever you want to get out of it. So every member has the opportunity to really fill that passion, what's in it for me around a certain area. Again, whether it's just being a part of a committee, whether it's starting to drive strategy for a chapter, or really it's trying to drive strategy globally for our community for facility management. So it's really, you can take it as far as you want to take it. That's the first thing I'd say. The second thing I would say is that, certainly I want to thank, all of our associate members. I don't like using tags, but we're all supporting the built environment one way or another. Okay, whether it's an architect, whether it's an engineer, whether it's an FM professional, whether it's a systems furniture person, but really we're all supporting the built environment, and we need to work together. And I was chatting with Sally earlier saying that if it wasn't for associate members, there would be no IFMA. So going back to '79 when Herman Miller created the first meeting with our recently passed president, George Graves. So extremely important to have that professional partnership with associate members, much needed in our community and the overall IFMA community. And then professional members. So we're all too busy, right? We're more with less. Here's what I would say. You need to think about yourself. As an FM professional, no one will guarantee that you will have lifetime employment, but you can guarantee that you can be employable for your lifetime. So if you don't take the time, you're really doing a disservice to yourself if you're passionate about this profession. And I would tell you that some of my most enriching experiences were as I traveled, whether it's in this region or around the world, in sharing experiences and listening to experiences that were very enriching and broaden you, whether it was technical FM or the soft FM or just the community in general. So for professional members, not all of you can get involved based on where you're at in your career and your life commitments, but certainly you should think about your passion and your employability and how that fits in with your career planning. Certainly a very important part of our membership is our young professionals. We all want to retire someday. So we certainly need to grow our young professionals. IFMA, our chapter, has done tremendous things around education. I'll dial back 10 years ago when there was only maybe 5 certified institutions. Now there's over 50 globally. So developing that bench strength and mentoring and guiding that bench strength is critical, whether it's through our leadership and internships, mentoring, sharing knowledge, guiding, and those things you get through being a part of our community and having conversations and connecting. And I guess the last thing I would say to you is that, as a professional member, as an associate member, as a visitor or not, that we are IFMA. I mean, IFMA is us. So the thought leadership and the knowledge that consists within IFMA, their knowledge library, their credentials, it's us. So I like to say that we, all 24,000 members around the world, we own IFMA, we are IFMA, we need to continue to build IFMA. And so for that, I would ask you just to think about it. Like someone a long time ago, they tapped me on the shoulder and say, hey, would you like to come to a committee meeting and see what we're doing here at IFMA? So if you haven't come, please come. And certainly my passion is going to continue for many years to come.
Well, thank you. This has been wonderful. Thank you for sharing.
My pleasure. Thank you for the honor of being the member spotlight.
Absolutely.
It's been enjoyable.
Congratulations to you as well.
Yeah.
On your scholarship.
Thank you.